What's going on, my PT peeps? I'm Walking Dead family, my fighters. I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. You don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Season 10C trailer. Obviously, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. That's the shows and the comics. So I have some of the video that I'm going to share. I'm going to break down some things from the video clips, and we're going to do that throughout the trailer. So I broke it down into segments, video credit, photo credit to AMC and The Walking Dead for sure. It's an awesome trailer, and here's the first part.
Let's start with your name. Where are you from? Where were you when the fall happened?
Now, obviously, that's the Commonwealth soldiers, our group, Eugene, Yumiko, Princess, and Ezekiel. And the person talking is most likely Lance Hornsby. I always thought he would be the first person we would meet from the Commonwealth, and it just sounds like it's him, and he's interrogating our friends, our group, and getting to know them. It's got to be Lance.
We both know this world. The dead. It's gonna catch up to us eventually.
So first we see Daryl going to a cabin, and I'm guessing this is Leah's cabin. That's a new character that we'll meet in these 6 extra episodes, and I believe it's Daryl and Carol having the conversation. We saw this in the table read. This looks to be the cabin. I know some people are seeing a callback to the Beth and Daryl cabin, and it could be that, and we're not sure. Then we see a close-up shot of Father Gabriel and Aaron. We also see a walker, and they're in the field, and I don't know if there's walkers and whisperers here, but that'd be pretty cool, as the whisperer should still be around. Then we see a close-up shot of Ezekiel, and he's got blood on his eye, and I'm not sure what's going on here. Are they inside one of the train cars? But the Carol dialogue is, we both know this world, and eventually stuff's got to catch up to them, and I believe that's Carol and Daryl talking. Then we see Aaron walking by a school or a building that's boarded up with walkers inside, and definitely more of Aaron later on in the trailer. It's very interesting. Then we see Daryl and Carol on Daryl's bike. You know, they're just going somewhere, and I think, and also in the table read, that Carol and Daryl split up after kind of an argument. And I mean, they go their separate ways, not like they're together. And then we see this is the top of a building, I'm guessing, and Father Gabriel was here. You see a mattress or something there with Save Us, some chairs, and Father Gabriel looks to be alone. But it's Carol talking. It's going to catch up to us eventually. And I'm sure that's on Carol's mind because she's been through a lot. She's done a lot. And is karma going to catch up to Carol at some point, or has it already?
Evil people aren't the exception to the rule. They are the rule. 3, 2, 1!
And a lot going on here, that's for sure. I'm guessing these swords, blades, knives, just these badass weapons belong to one of the new characters that are with Maggie. Elijah is highlighted here, and it's interesting that it says evil people aren't the exception. And that's dialogue that Father Gabriel is having with another new character, Maze from the table read. This is Leah right here. She's pointing her shotgun, I guess it's a shotgun or a rifle at least, at Daryl. And this is inside Leah's cabin. And Daryl looks to be alone. And it's interesting because Daryl is usually not in a precarious situation like this. But maybe he's not in the right frame of mind after the dialogue with Carol or with Rick, and he's just worrying about things. And it looks to be a shotgun that Leah has with Daryl inside her cabin. And then we see Aaron looking inside a car from the outside. And it reminds me of when he was in the car with Daryl and Morgan saved them. But 2 questions. Does this car have gas? Or how long has that walker been inside that car? And I find this very interesting. Who are these 2 new guys? And I'm guessing that's Negan in the back, in the shadows. But who's this guy looking at the person with the hood on their head? I'm guessing they're the 2 new characters from the table read of Here's Negan. So this will be in Season 10, Episode 22. And I'm guessing this is when Negan shoots this guy and takes over the sanctuary. And if you haven't read Here's Negan, definitely check it out. It's an awesome kind of mini comic series of the prequel story of Negan. This is the table read of Here's Negan, and I believe those are 2 new gentlemen we'll see in the Here's Negan episode. And then we see Father Gabriel saying they are the rule. So I believe this is the same dialogue that Father Gabriel had with Maze, the new character we'll meet, in the table read, and just putting things together looks pretty interesting to see how it goes down. Then we see Daryl wrestling probably a whisper. I'm guessing it's a whisper because he probably wouldn't roll around with someone that's a walker. It just wouldn't have here because he rolls down and it's kind of blurry. I'm sorry. But you see Daryl kind of choking this person. And who is it? We just don't know, but I'm guessing it's a whisper. It's hard to tell. We can't really see. Then we see Maggie covering her ears, and there's a big explosion behind her. Where, when, what's going on here? Are they going after Negan or what? Then we see Maze. There he is, the new character. Pretty awesome stuff. And he's pointing a gun at someone, and there's a countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then the next shot is Aaron with a gun in his head. And he's like, ah. And then it makes us worry about Aaron. Aaron looks kind of beat up there. So what's going on here? And Maze looks to be a new bad guy. And he's got to get taken out, right? We can't have our survivors in trouble. I think they want us to think that Aaron is going to die, possibly. Maybe, but I doubt it. But you never know. And we see Princess in one of the train cars with our 3 other survivors with hoods on their heads. So are they going to meet Lance here? And then we hear the interrogation of the questions that were at the beginning of the trailer. And then our group goes towards the Commonwealth. Then we see Negan here with a knife in the eye socket of a walker. This is definitely the prequel of Here's Negan. Lucille saves the day. I believe she's holding on to a pole, maybe the chemotherapy treatment, because she has cancer. It just looks like she has something there to the left, and she could have an IV in her arm. But Negan was clearly struggling, and Lucille saved him. So I wonder if they're going to go away from the idea that Negan cheated on Lucille, Negan was terrible, or maybe that's still there. Or maybe they're getting rid of the hospital angle of Lucille, and Lucille gets sick, and they can't go to a hospital. Because in the comic, she goes to the hospital and then she dies there and turns, and then Negan never puts her down and he regrets it. And, it's kind of a whole thing. And the big question was, are they at the same hospital that Rick was, the same timeline? I don't think so, but that's always the question people ask. But it looks great.
You can come on home.
He asked how his daddy died. I told him that a bad man killed him. And he wanted to know if that man got what he deserved.
And you see Carol either ripping some drywall down or looking through something frantically, and it's just not sure what's going on here. It's hard to tell. But Daryl says, you could come on home. And that's either to Carol or Maggie. And it's most likely Maggie. Not sure what happened with this building. Did it burn down? And why is Daryl screaming? Is Maggie in the same building? He asked how his daddy died, is what she says, talking about Herschel, her son, Herschel Ree. And of course, we're talking about Glenn, and we all know what happened to Glenn, and Negan's still around, so it's building up for sure. Now, I'm wondering if this is inside the Barrington house at Hilltop. Our group's got to go back there to start rebuilding, right? And that's probably what season 11 is. But we saw the Barrington house is still standing, fire, smoke. Negan was involved here, so it could be building up for more. Herschel Ree there, great shot of him sleeping. We see Maggie and Daryl talking about it, and that's the whole dialogue there. And then it cuts to Lucille being wrapped in barbed wire with the gloves on, the same gloves that Negan had on earlier. So this is probably the first appearance of Negan making Lucille the barbed wire bat. And Maggie says, I told him that a bad man killed him. And so Maggie told Herschel what happened to Glenn. But I doubt she said that it was Negan because she didn't know that Negan's around, right? But there's the fire in the house. Negan's inside the house, kicks out the door. I'm guessing this is the house that Negan and Lucille were in. Maybe the oxygen caught fire or something happened there. Then he had to leave the house. Or it's connected with him taking over the Saviors or the Sanctuary, whatever they were called first. And then you see Negan here pointing a gun at someone. And Maggie says, and he wanted to know if that man got what he deserved. Talking about Negan, we know who it is. But I'm guessing this is the same scene from when the guy is looking at the person in the hood, and I guess that's Negan in the back. You can see a shadowy figure there with the same lights, and then Negan comes with a gun and takes out one of, if not both of these people. But clearly, this may be the start of when Negan takes over the Sanctuary and the Saviors, because he values people, and the guy without the hood probably wants to kill the guy with the hood, but Negan is about saving people, and that could be the start of it. It's just my guess. And we see Daryl walking in the woods with the same dialogue by Maggie, and he wanted to know if that man got what he deserved, talking about Negan. Then we see the shot of Maggie with her group. Maggie, Elijah, the guy with the swords possibly, or knives behind Elijah, and it looks to be the same outfit that Maggie is wearing there. So I'm guessing they see each other, and then Maggie and her group and Daryl walk away. But then we see Daryl looking at Maggie, so the dialogue is between Maggie and Daryl, and I'm guessing Herschel is asleep on Maggie's lap when they're talking.
Little pig, little pig.
Let me in.
And it's back to the same line of dialogue that Negan said outside of Alexandria. Little pig, let me in. But you see, Negan is present timeline Negan here, looking at the fire, and this has got to be in the story of here's Negan when he says the story of what happened with Lucille, and probably the start of Negan taking over the sanctuary and becoming the Negan that we met in season 6. And it's a good transition to present day Negan and previous Negan. And you can see the same outfit with the glove, Lucille, the jacket, the same outfit exactly that we saw in season 6, episode 16, with the introduction of Negan in a pretty big, huge way of introducing the character to the story. But that's the trailer. It comes out February 28th. Stream it early. They say on AMC Plus. I believe it's the 25th when it comes out there. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure the exact date of the early access, but that's the trailer, and it's pretty good. It's a short trailer. We break it down for you. We talk about what could happen with the comic, of the regular comic, and here's Negan. I'm super excited, guys. We're getting closer and closer and closer for the return of The Walking Dead. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. What did I miss? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And make sure you're a subscriber. Stay in the know. We post daily videos about The Walking Dead and various topics. Thank you guys, and tell them Daryl.